of smoking, you may be wondering how your lungs are doing. Find out with an easy 10-minute chest scan at the Temple Lung Center. Our doctors can check for any early signs of lung disease, like cancer or COPD, before you even notice symptoms. Early detection means better treatment options. Don't wait to get screened. Call 800-TEMPLE-MED today to learn more.
In your journey back to work, we understand the barriers you may face. We have a solution to bridge that gap. No matter your background, PA CareerLink staff are here to provide personalized assistance and help you thrive. Take the first step towards a new chapter in your career journey with PA CareerLink. Visit pacareerlink.pa.gov or your local PA CareerLink office today. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Tune in to Eco Word Magazine, hosted by POC, the first Friday at 10 a.m. for the PA Lottery Eco Word Fact of the Month. Brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
We are the home of progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people. Write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Happy hump day to you. Today is Wednesday, March 27th. I know some of you were saying, why does she tell us that? It's nighttime. We know by now. Well, you know what? Sometimes I don't halfway know. Sometimes I'm a day ahead or a day behind. So today is Wednesday, March 27th. How's your week shaping up? I hope that it is shaping up to be a great week for both you and yours. I truly do. So in today's Women's History Month moment, I share with you Stacey Abrams. Stacey Yvonne Abrams is an American politician, lawyer, voting rights activist, and author who served in the Georgia House of Representatives from 2007 to 2017, serving as minority leader from 2011 to 2017. A member of the Democratic Party, she founded the Fair Fight Action, an organization to address voter suppression, in 2018. Her efforts have been widely credited with boosting voter turnout in Georgia, including in the 2020 presidential election when Joe Biden narrowly won the state, and in Georgia's 2020 to 21 regularly scheduled and special U.S. Senate elections, which gave Democrats control of the Senate. That is today's Women's History moment. Today's Black History 365 moment is a celebration of Teddy Pendergrass. Theodore Derice Pendergrass was an American soul and R&B singer-songwriter. He was born in Kingstree, South Carolina, but he lived most of his life in the Philadelphia area. He initially rose to musical fame as the lead singer of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. After leaving the group in 1976, he launched a successful solo career under the Philadelphia International label. He is the first Black male artist to have released 5 consecutive platinum albums. Now, I don't know if you realize, but that was a record at the time for a Black R&B artist. He would have turned 74 years of age yesterday. Happy belated birthday. How about that? Family, that's today's Black History 365 moment. I did want to wish all of our love bugs that are celebrating a birthday, that are currently celebrating a birthday, that is, happy birthday. I want to send you some happy birthday love. We are celebrating you here. You know we are. You know we are. And family, if you are joining us by way of socials, let us know. Send us a comment, send us some love. You know, we love it any way you care to share it, but you also have the choice of giving us a call. You can call us and say, hey there. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You could even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You know that I hope you are doing well and you are feeling well. I hope all is coming along well with you and yours. But if in any event your heart is heavy or your light is shining even just a little bit dimly, just know that I'm sending you all the love that you can handle right now, all the love I can muster and that you can handle right now on behalf of your entire tribe and village right here on Love and Life, because we want you to know that you are not alone. We need you to know that you are not alone. You hear me? I just want to take another moment to address those that the lives that we are still searching for, I should say, in the tragedy that occurred on the bridge yesterday. So I'm sending prayers, love, condolences, and well wishes to those that were deeply affected, I will say, by the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. Yes, I am. Some more things I want to put in your spirit. Family, join us for the Level Up Pitch Party and Networking Mixer taking place on Tuesday, April 2nd from 4 until 9 p.m. at the beautiful Philadelphia Fiddler Club, located at 24 South 24th Street in Philadelphia. Celebrating Women's History Month in partnership with WVON Chicago and KJLH Los Angeles, we are highlighting Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in our communities. Family, come on out and cheer on your favorite business as the 5 finalists vie for a chance to win the grand prize valued at $5,000. And while you're there, meet and greet the judges and others from various business sectors throughout our city. Simply visit wordradio.com/level up to RSVP for the event. Level Up 2024 is sponsored by Comcast, Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, Bank of America, Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, and Pico. Also, in honor of Women's History Month, during the month of March, we want you to show off just how phenomenal you truly are with Word's latest Phenomenal Women swag. That's right. This is also a perfect gift for that special woman in your life. Our latest swag features a tote bag, a notebook, and a long-sleeved t-shirt. You can get one or you can get all 3, quite honestly. And if you're a 4-word member, you can get these brand new items with a 25% off code. That's right. 25% off for our 4-word members. Simply join or renew right now so you can get your discount code via email. Remember, membership has its privileges. It absolutely does. Family, go to wordradio.com/WHM so you can start shopping right now. That's wordradio.com/WHM. Family, I see that you are checking in and I love it. Malcolm White, that is. He is checking in. He shares that he's watching and listening from West Mount Airy, sending a good evening to the entire family. Malcolm, you know we receive the love and we send it right back. Nasir Butler, brother Nasir, he's sending peace and blessings. You already know we receive it and it's sending it right back to you. Cheryl Brown, hi there, Cheryl, is sending peace and love, she said, to the guest and to all fellow wordies. I love that. I love that. And Eric is sharing, hey, on this wet, windy Wednesday, he's sharing some love with everybody. You know, I love being here. Just love y'all. Thaddeus Juan Cradle is saying, hey there, family. Hi there, Thaddeus. And Willie, hey there, I miss you, Willie. Where you been? Willie Matthew Williams is sending love to the entire family as well. Hi there, Lakeisha. Lakeisha Boston is checking in. She sends love to the family as well. Hey there, Harry. Harry Wims is checking in. He shares that he's out walking his dog, Foxy. What? I was out walking Chloe just a moment ago. Zen Motley is checking in. And he shares, stay safe and blessed, everybody. And good evening as well. Julia Jones is asking, she said, well, now, who are you talking about? That was from Kingstree, South Carolina. Teddy Pendergrass himself. Teddy Pendergrass was born in Kingstree, South Carolina, although he spent a good part of his life here in Philadelphia. That's who it was, Julia. That's who it was. That was our Black History 365 moment. Gary Bryant is sending love as well. Hey there, Gary. Hey there. And Lakeisha, she says, I'm checking in from Sicklerville, right in Sicklerville, New Jersey. Well, family, I love it. You know, we all love to have you here. We love the love that you share. Always. So let's get started. I'm going to go to our phone lines first before we bring our guest into the room. I believe it's our beloved Ron is calling in. Hi there, Ron. Thank you for calling.
Hello, love and life. I want to talk real quick about what is America to me. Teddy Pendergrass, I certainly met him many times. His mother belonged to Ebenezer Baptist Church. And because of that song that he made, him and Hal Melvin, I knew all them people. And this is dedicated to love and life. I hope that we could be together soon. Can you make it real soon? Malcolm, can you make it real soon? Every time I think about y'all, send chills up and down my spine. Ooh. But getting on the serious side, the reason what is America to me is this Love and Life program. And I'm not branding, but I like to be very creative in my thinking and my thought. My cup do runneth over. My primary doctor, God, thank you for giving me that person. My legs is coming along pretty good. Pretty good. And I want to say to the older people who all make a concern, be sure that when you speak with your primary caretaker, make sure ask a lot of questions and reference, because one of the service I'm going to get for my legs on the 8th, it will be very helpful. So what I am saying is this. You want to be able, and ask your primary doctor, because they only limit to a certain amount of time that they can give you. And they did it with my primary caretaker. And I asked, could you just set up a day that we could talk and go into more detail in my situation? And saying that, when I think about America, I think about all the lovely people here, Malcolm and all the people and all the programming. This is why it's very important that we must vote. It's very important to make sure that we have a station like this that are on the air, where people, as I said before, can call in and help you to encourage and let those persons that's calling in that having their problems, we can be an inspiration through the comments that they make through UCal going on the machine. What a wonderful thing. And you know, Dr. King said these words, and this is to everyone. He said that you only need to utter but 3 words to let the nation know what you're talking about. And those three words are all here and now. And we're here in this country today. And we have proven down through the years that voting can bring into existence and it can take out of existence. Wouldn't you like to be another show that the will of this voting thing to make sure that our country is conscious stay, not a utopian, but can make a difference. So that is I hope if I get a chance and my legs are not feeling well, I would just like to go out there and on the second and look at all the beautiful females. And I don't go front fresh stuff. And I would like to give each one of them, if I had enough money to do it, a handkerchief, wipe the sweat from my brow, and give each one of them a handkerchief. These wonderful females that have these businesses that is constantly trying to do good, especially all Black people and then other people. And that's why, Cal, is very important. We got to be very weighing, very discriminating when we make our comments, because the world has changed. And we are dependent on everybody to maybe support you in your program and the businesses and stuff. They call that diversity. And when you know who you are, then your pigmentation, it's an indicator of one thing, but your mentality bring everything to an explanation. Can continue to sing, Cal. Continue to use that voice to sing. And because what you're doing, you and Mr. Will and anyone that does that, you don't realize your people become a part of the soul stirs when you can give a song and stir up their soul. So I hope to see everyone in the future. Hope that our Love and Life family, if we can just gather around at a breakfast sometime and break bread and to see each other and live in color. So thank you very much. But don't forget, please get out and participate. We don't tell you who to vote for. That would not be right. But we certainly hope that you will listen and participate in the process. Love you. I don't use that word too much, but I do. My cup runneth over because people care for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you. And Ron, we love you too. We absolutely do. And we thank you so much for always pouring into us positively. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And for your transparency and vulnerability. Thank you. Thank you so much. Brother Raphael Suleiman is checking in. Ron Alexander is checking in as well from Hollywood. And Mr. and Mrs. Smitty are joining us. Hi, my love bugs. Happy to have you all join us as well. Family, I was sharing that I was about to bring our guest in. I wanted to take our call first and get love up on Ron, get some love from him. But our guest in this hour tonight, she's one of our love bugs. She is no stranger to the show. No, she is not. Her name is Candace Johnson, and she's the founder of Gushy Candy, which is an organization that has the objective to promote quality adult play and inclusivity. Aside from her daily role as CEO, she's also the mastermind behind Touchy Feely, an intimacy card game, the first game designed for all adult relationship styles and stages. Family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Candace Johnson. Hey there, beautiful.
Hello. I'm so excited to be back.
We always love having you here. First of all, Candace and I, we talk offline. So I'm always happy to have you come. Yes, and we eat. Yes, we do. We eat good food. So I'm happy to have you back in this space because we get to talk about some other things and different things. We talk about life wherever we are, so it doesn't matter. But happy to have you here. Always, because you're always welcome. Candace and I were talking. There's so many things about which we can speak tonight, but we thought we would start the conversation talking about the impact that television, specifically contemporary television, has on how we view love. Yes. Now, family, you already know that we have these conversations. Every conversation we have is a conversation, that the family as a whole has. So I cannot wait. For your input tonight. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say to contribute to this conversation. But, now y'all know what we do too. We start one place and we migrate to another. So we're completely and totally open to that as well. But We're going to start with the impact that contemporary television has on how we view love. Before we get into that conversation, we're going to take just a short commercial break. I want to remind you, though, that the phone lines, they are open and they will remain open. But feel free to comment on our socials as well, because you know I'm going to do my very best to read those comments aloud, as I always do. Another family member, Jay Reezy, is checking in. Hey, Jay, how are you? Nice to have you join us. Thank you for that. I think it's your first time here, isn't it? And any event family, stay with us. We're going to take this commercial break, but when we come back, we're digging in. So we'll be right back.
Join us for the Level Up Pitch Party and Networking Mixer, Tuesday, April 2nd at the Fittler Club, celebrating Women's History Month in partnership with WVON Chicago and KJLH Los Angeles. We are highlighting Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in our communities. Come out and cheer on your favorite business as the 5 finalists vie for a chance to win the grand prize valued at $5,000. And while you're there, meet and greet the judges and others from various business sectors throughout the city. Visit wordradio.com/level up and RSVP to the event. Level Up 2024 is brought to you by Comcast, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, and Bank of America.
85 years ago, Independence Blue Cross was founded to provide peace of mind when accessing health care. Our first members were employees of Independence Hall. We started where our country started. I'm Greg Devins, CEO of Independence, thanking you for making us the leading health insurer in the region and the only health plan you need to know. Our promise for the last 85 years and the next 85 is to deliver the quality healthcare coverage you and your families deserve.
When you take a walk around your neighborhood and notice all the things that make it feel like home, like all the houses lined neatly together in a row, or your neighbor, Miss Rita, who always waves at you when you drive down the street, or that movie theater in the strip mall that might look a little worn down, but has the best popcorn you've ever tasted. One thing might be a little harder to notice, because somewhere tucked in that neat row of houses is hunger. It could be your next door neighbor, or your coworker, or your daughter's friend from school, because over 30 million Americans don't know where their next meal is coming from. Hunger lives in neighborhoods all around us, but it doesn't have to. Together, we can provide 1 billion meals by 2030, because everyone should be welcome at the table. Learn more at nourishingneighbors.com from Acme Markets, La Lucis, and King's Foundations. Let's break the cycle of hunger together.
Stand with Word Radio as we continue to provide dynamic, progressive programming to inform and empower our people. We're living in unprecedented times, and we must stand together to protect and preserve Black Talk Media. Become a 4Word member with the annual membership price of just $90, or a digital member starting at just $5 per month. If you're already a 4Word member, sign up, family member, or a friend to help us continue making history. Start or renew your 4Word membership today. Visit wordradio.com/4word or wordradio.com/membership.
No, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with our beloved Candace Johnson. And before the commercial break, I was sharing with you that we're starting this conversation about the impact that contemporary television has on how we view love. So, Candace, I want you start this conversation. What would your opinion of that be?
Well, it seems that it makes sense to me. I'm an older girl now, but when I was
You're
young, I mean, I like to say late 30s is an older girl, right? Like I can still
oh,
be at the club, but like I'm gonna leave a little early. But but for me, and I talk about this actually often, a lot of what I molded my relationships after were sitcoms from the 90s. I actually thought love was like Family Matters. I always just assumed that whatever man ran after me the way Steve Urkel ran after Laura was like definitely my husband, right? Like um so when I look at television shows today, it makes me a little sad because you know, representation is so important.
mhm.
The discovery of love can sometimes be through the view lens of watching two people in love. I know that that's my first relationship with falling in love is watching other people be in love and then being curious about what that feeling is. So to
Mm,
now see how contemporary television moves the message more towards sex and
mhm,
the capitalism centered around dating, that's the part that feels a little scary. But in terms of showing love, I actually don't think that it can be salacious enough. I think it's love in its most purest form, regardless of the particular sector of love you're
mhm.
looking at, is always so fascinating and so beautiful. And it reminds you why you actually don't need money.
Oh, Candace. Wait, I'm listening. First of all, I jumped right in and I should have asked you to share with our family members a little about you, but I was so ready to get into this conversation. But I'm going to first respond to what you just shared with us. It's interesting that you say that you modeled the relationships that you had by the television shows that you saw. So you said specifically, was it family?
Family Matters. Remember
Family
that with
Matters.
Steve? Yeah, with Steve Urkel and Laura and the Winslows. Yeah, you got to
See,
remember it.
I do. And you spoke specifically of Steve and Laura, but
Yeah,
it's so interesting to me because of what you said specifically. You said because he chased her, but
yeah.
now I didn't watch the show, but did she have an interest in him?
She did when he was Stefan Arkell.
Oh,
And
so
what's remember when he turned into like the suave guy. And to me,
okay.
that was the lesson. The lesson was, right, there's two planes that we're operating on, a spiritual one and a worldly one.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I saw it was Steve Urkel had a spiritual understanding that Laura Winslow was his wife, right? And he was so set in his discernment that it was his life's mission as a man to make her see what she couldn't see. And he was willing to dabble in worldly changes, like changing around his appearance to appease her so that he could tempt her worldly. But I mean, and maybe I am an old fashioned girl in this one particular way, but I do
Mm-hmm.
think in the healthiest relationships, I don't care if it's the man or the woman, but one person has to sit in full discernment. Like, I know that you are mine. And even though you might waver, I know. And he was always around. And you know what? I'll be honest, like I have been like that who are always around in our relationships. Um, they change, like the
Mm-hmm.
seasons, but it's always appropriate to what makes sense and how the love can grow the best. I mean, no one is
Okay.
jumping, no one's breaking into my house, but yeah, yeah.
So you don't think it has to be equal? You think as long as one of the individuals is ready to go full steam ahead, the relationship can be successful?
In its budding phase, yeah. Like I don't
Okay.
think that you
Okay.
can, I don't think that you can, violate someone's privacy or anything like that. But
Sure, sure,
um,
sure.
I have a man
Mm.
right now who is convinced that I could be his wife. I guess I don't mind sharing that. It's very, very, very new, but I like being transparent with you guys.
Yeah.
And he's so clear about it, but we've not met. We have been in spaces together. We run in
Okay.
we run in circles. We actually might even have friends in common.
Okay.
Um, but we have not had a formal meetings.
You've met in a virtual space. Just
We have. We've had phone calls and we've been in similar spaces just without talking to each other.
Okay. So there's. It sounds like there's an attraction to some degree on your behalf from the
There's
conversation, or
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the confidence. It's he doesn't have to be correct. Every guy that runs after me thinks that I'm his wife, and
I
I'm
was
still
getting to
single.
that. I was getting to
Yeah,
that.
of course. But also, who knows anything? Like I don't know what's happening tomorrow, and everyone who's planning for tomorrow doesn't know what's happening for tomorrow. So
Absolutely.
if and what I'm trusting is that he has a strong relationship with his God. I have a strong relationship with my God, and so if he feels so moved to feel that he's a man who can look at something and have whatever he wants, and he looks at me and he thinks that I could be that. Yeah, okay, I'll go on a date.
Okay.
Go on a date. Sure. So yeah, so I think and it could be right or wrong, good or bad, I don't know. But I do think it's fed from specifically that show. The idea that and I do that to men too. If there's someone that I really have an interest in, I make it very clear, I make it very known. And I'll let them know if I think it's silly that they're telling me no.
Okay. I love it. See, this is why we have these conversations. This is why Candace and I specifically have these conversations, because I love our candor. I love how we can just talk about anything. But family, I'm inviting you as well to this conversation. We first, basically, the topic at which we began was the impact that contemporary television has on how we view love. And Candace shared that she modeled at one point in time her relationships based on Family Matters, the TV show Family Matters, Steve Urkel and Laura, which was one of the greatest love stories, I imagine, in television, right? It's one with which we are all familiar. So it goes down in the books. And I don't believe she became interested in him, though, until, like you said, he became, what was it, Stefan?
Yeah, handsome and attractive and successful, of course, like as it should be. Right. Like, yeah. Yeah, it's all
Oh my
important.
goodness. It's all important. Okay, it's all important. So we have Family Matters. Family, I'm curious to know, were there any TV shows that you were watching that you thought about, that you said, yeah, you know what, that's what I want. That relationship right there, that love right there that I believe I'm seeing here on this show, that's what I want. And it's interesting to me that you did not say the mother and father, her mother and father, Laura's mother and father, the
I was
Winslow's.
young.
Right,
I was
exactly.
And also, that would have been my parents in terms of adult representation. Full on, my mom and dad. My mom and dad were deeply in love. And then I watched the unraveling of that, and
Sure. So what about the Huxtables?
What I learned from them was partnership. And honestly, Claire Huxtable is like she's my spirit animal, in terms of being able to cater to your man, be lovely to your man, not raise your voice to your man, but also very much put your man in his place. I never heard Claire Huxtable threaten Cliff, like Cliff, right? But I saw that he didn't want to mess with her.
Right. He knew his boundaries. He knew how far to go with Claire. He absolutely did. I agree with that. I'm going to take a moment to go to the phone lines. James is calling to join the conversation. Hey there, James. Thank you for calling and welcome to the conversation.
Good evening, ladies. I would like to say good times, Florida Evans. On the ground together, no matter what. I like to leave it right there. Walk back, Carol.
I don't think there's anywhere else to go from there. Florida and James, they were it, weren't they?
That's it.
They were it. I love it. Thank you, James. As always,
you.
Thank you. Oh, we love you more. Thank you. James said Florida and James. Okay. There's nowhere to go from there. And he was right. They were in there through thick and thin. Don shares Martin and Gina for me. I love it. There's another one. That's another one. That's another one. One of our beloveds, Heather, is joining us. Hey there, Heather. She's saying, "Hey there, family. Hey there, Boop." So we're talking in this hour with our love bug, Candace Johnson, and we are talking about the impact that contemporary television has or has had on how we view love. So the question I posed to all of you was, what TV couple did you see that you thought, you know what, I want that right there. I want that kind of love. That's what I want. I'm curious to know. So tell us, let us know. Feel free to share in the comments, or, you can even give us a call. You can always give us a call. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. And you can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866 361-0900. So, Nick, I always like to drag you into the conversation. First of all, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Family, you all know our beloved producer, Nick. Nick Steptoe, that is Nick.
Whoa, hey, how's it going?
It is going well. I'm curious to know, did you have a television couple that impressed you, or one by which you wanted to mirror a relationship?
A television couple. Thinking of all the good ones that I saw.
Mhm.
First one to pop into my head is, I think I remember the name of the show is My Wife and Kids. That's like a Wayne's Brothers show. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Oh,
Uh,
was that Damon and Tisha? Damon
I
Wayans
think
and
so.
Tisha
Look, there's
Campbell?
like 12 of them, and like 4 of them look the same, so I
Right.
always mix them up. The ones I see all the bald ones, and I think they're the same guy. But
Oh
yeah,
my.
I just remember the dynamic between the whichever Wayne's brother was,
Uh-huh. I
and
think it was Damon.
yeah, Damon, and who's the lady that played Martin's
Tisha
girl?
Campbell. Tisha
Tisha
Campbell.
Campbell. Yeah, that's a
Mhm.
good one. I mean, Martin's a good one too. Now that I think about it, but Martin had its ups and downs, and I kind of got confused in later seasons. But My Wife and Kids is definitely a good one. That's
My
that. I mean,
wife's
everybody's just so funny in that. It's definitely the first one to come to mind.
I've got to catch up on some TV, I see, because I never saw that either. But I do know, as you see, I know about who you speak.
Mhm.
Damon Wayans and Tisha Campbell. So were they working class? Were they a working class couple, or were they what was their dynamic?
I don't. It's funny. I don't know. Maybe the
He was
sitcoms were really accurate back then, but like those houses that they live in, they look like they live in the suburbs somewhere like really nice. But maybe it's just the set on which that they work on. But yeah, I believe that they're both a working class family. And I remember the son was kind of not smart, but he had a whole lot of
Mhm.
heart, and he got some
Oh.
girl pregnant when he was young, and the whole family was like living together with this thing, and it was just it was a very positive like environment for everybody. That's
Mm.
what I remember about it. Like people made fun of each other, and folks got mad and all this stuff, sitcom stuff, but
Mhm,
everybody was
mhm.
very supportive ultimately.
Mm. Well, thank you for that, Nick. Well, look at that. Heather shares, yeah, My Wife and Kids was a good one. And that's see, now I gotta catch up. Eric shares, I remember watching a TV show starring Diane Carroll called Julia. I was stunned to see such a beautiful Black woman on television who was a nurse, a single Black mother dedicated to her child, her job, and herself. See, see, again, I am familiar with the show, but I never saw an episode. I'm familiar with this show. I just think Diane Carroll she's such a legendary human being. She's an icon and such a stunningly beautiful woman. Just I admire her work. So I gotta catch up on that. This is terrible. See, Candace, this is why you're here to help me with this conversation, because
well,
there's
tell
so
us
many
yours.
shows. There's so many shows. Oh, so now that I'm thinking, okay, so we have Tisha and Damon from My Wife and Kids. What was the show? Well, nobody said George and Wheezy. nobody, nobody
Oh,
wanted
the
to be
Jeffersons?
Georgia. Yeah, nobody wanted to be the Jefferson.
Oh.
What was Dolores asks, hey there, Dolores. She's joining the conversation. Thank you for that, Dolores Davis. She shares greetings. What was how Stella got her groove back? Was it on TV? I don't know if it was on TV, but Dolores, I take it that's the relationship you want. Is that what? Hold on. Malcolm says Julia did have a boyfriend. It was Fred Williamson. He said I was real young back then, but I remember that. Well, here you have it. So Fred stepped up. Fred Williamson stepped up. See, it's good to know. It's good to know. Family, we're talking about these relationships that we see on television and how they impact how we view love. So I'm curious to know, our love bug, Candace Johnson, is here to have this conversation in this space with us. But I'm inviting you to share your thoughts and how you feel on it too. That's what we're doing tonight. We're talking about everything. But in this moment, we're talking about this topic. So I want to know what you think and how you feel. And you see, James said Florida and James Evans. That was it. He said that you don't need to go anywhere other than good times. Family, we're going to take just a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. So I'm going to think of some couples in the meantime, in between time. And we'll talk about it when we come back. Stay with us because we'll be right back.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month is brought to you by Comcast.
The recent AT&T wireless outage caused a huge inconvenience for a lot of people. Not having cell service for any length of time can be a serious matter, so here are a few things you can do if your cell service gets interrupted. Both iPhones and Android phones allow Wi-Fi calling, meaning you can make phone calls while connected to Wi-Fi instead of over your cellular connection. You may have to dig into your phone's settings to enable it, and you will need a Wi-Fi signal to use the feature. You can also use apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, or Messenger to communicate with others over Wi-Fi as well. FaceTime on iPhones and Google Voice on Android phones are another way to stay in touch when you don't have a cell signal. And even if you don't have cell service or Wi-Fi, you should still be able to dial 911. It can be a pain when cell service goes down, but it doesn't mean you have to lose touch completely. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
I need to file my tax return right the first time. How can I be sure to do that?
Doing your taxes yourself? Using e-file is the best way to file an accurate tax return. Mistakes can delay your refund, so spend an extra few minutes making sure you can file an accurate return the first time around. Avoid common errors by spelling all names correctly and using correct Social Security numbers. Double check your bank account numbers for direct deposit and double check your math too. Oh yeah, don't forget to sign and date your return.
This is Joanne Bell from Black Women's Leadership Council, and I'm here to share some important information for 2024 voters. Pennsylvania's primary election takes place April 23rd. Now is the time to check your voter and party registration status. Last day to register to be eligible to vote in the primary is April 8th. There are 3 ways to cast your ballot in the primaries. Vote in person on April 23rd. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Absentee ballots are for those who cannot make it to the voting booth in person, and mail-in ballots are available to all eligible voters. Last day to apply for a mail-in or absentee ballot is April 16th. To bookmark these important dates and find more 2024 election information, go to wordradio.com. 2024 vote. This is your word on democracy. Your vote matters. Our democracy matters. This public service announcement is brought to you by AARP.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
And we are back. Welcome back to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Candace Johnson, our love bug, in this hour. And we've been talking about TV shows and specifically the couples and how the love that we see depicted in these TV shows has impacted how we view love. I was asking you about the couples that you saw that you said, I like them. I want that. I want that. And Cheryl shared, I liked Are We There Yet? With Essence Atkinson and Terry Crews, Ice Cube, and a few others. See, clearly I haven't seen enough television. And she also shares, I really liked the Hughleys. What was the show with Anthony Anderson and Tracy Ellis Ross. Was
Oh,
it
Blackish.
Blackish?
That was good.
That was good. Were they a good couple too?
No, he's a handful. I can't do that. I can't do his emotional journey. I think that Rainbow did a beautiful job with that, and their family's lovely. And I think that that unit is a great representation of family structure. But if I isolate the relationship I would have to have with a Anthony Anderson type, the way that character was, it was so big. Everything had to be a philosophical conversation. Like sometimes he had to just do what he had to do. Like he's a lovely person. He came off as a great father and a great husband. I need someone less complicated.
What, did he have a lot of anxiety or what was it?
It was that everything was, he had a lot of pride. He had a lot of ego, and everything had to be his way or a lecture. I grew up with a man like that. It was called my dad. Okay. So I like somebody a bit more easygoing. I like someone who doesn't always have to have his way, which is maybe why I lean more toward the Steve Urkel thing. But I will say one of my friends texted me and said, Uncle Phil and the original Aunt Vivian.
Oh.
And that relationship works for me. Pretty much any relationship where the woman can really be her full self and the husband can see the beauty in that definitely works for me. And I do think that the original Aunt Vivian embodies that spirit.
Yeah, I happen to agree with that too. I definitely do. B. Marie is joining the conversation and shares Moesha was a nice television show.
Yes. And Moesha was also another example of a beautiful young woman minding her business and all these like guys wanting to be in her atmosphere, right? And Moesha sort of being who she is the whole time. Love that message too.
So let me ask you this, and Nick, I'm going to ask you this too, and family, I'm asking you this question as well. So we're talking about these TV shows, and we're talking about the couples that we see and have seen in these shows. Do you feel like these reality shows nowadays have played, such a how big a part, I should say? How big a part do you believe these reality shows that we have nowadays, these dating reality shows, play in how we view love?
Well, I'll tell you in my work of talking to people about their relationships, what I find is that sometimes you can judge the jury and everyone's going to go through what they go through. My number one advice all the time with people that I talk to about their relationships is you should do what you can handle. If you can be with someone who can emotionally jump you up and down and you can still stay sturdy, then stay with them. You have to know what works for your own life. But what's interesting to me about reality shows is these are all individual people who are deciding to put their coupledom or whatever their love on display. And to me, the most interesting part is to see how all of us, the audience, are so quick to rip apart a relationship and deem them unfit to stay together, as opposed to problem solving and helping them figure out a way to stay a unit, right? Like it's always like oh, he ain't no good because he thought, he was caught in the supermarket with another woman, as opposed to, okay, obviously this man has, fidelity issues, or maybe they just have a marriage that, requires rules that you don't know about, where he's allowed to hang out in the supermarket with strange women. But either way, how do we support a relationship that seems like it's in trouble versus chastise it, but it seems like public opinion is to like, the second there's any flaw, then the love must not be real.
So what do you think about staying out of it? There's always been that to stay out of what two people share.
The problem is, and this is what actually my own struggle, and quite literally, I have this conversation with people I date. I want to show love because I mean, the number one genre of movies and television right now are horror films. You can see blood at every swipe, on every corner. I mean, it's crazy. So how do we juxtapose that? We do that with kissing and with sharing our stories of love and how sometimes they're flawed, but they're so necessary. It's why I try to be so open. So yeah, I'm a girl who's very, very sensitive, but luckily I have very tough skin, and also who gonna judge me, boo? So I don't mind sharing. I don't mind sharing my stuff, but I also do understand that once I allow myself to talk about my personal life, it now is put on public display. But what I always like to encourage people is to look at yourself If you want to know why you sit in your own unhappiness, look at the way you're judging someone else's relationship. Especially since we all know that no one's perfect, which
How
is the
about that?
silliest sentence for any human to ever even have to say.
How about that? Well, Malcolm shares, I hate the reality shows. I had
You
to
can
put that
learn
emphasis
from a
in it. I had
reality
to put
show.
that, it was in caps, so I had to put that emphasis. And Heather shares, well, my aunt and Uncle Cicero were together since I believe high school. They had one child. My uncle was the baby from my grandfather's siblings, but that would be my relationship goals. We watched them build beautifully together. When my aunt passed, the hurt we witnessed from my uncle, who still sits in that house they built by himself. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear. I'm happy to hear of the love that they share, but I'm so sorry to hear of his heartbreak and the grief. I am terribly sorry to hear about that. These reality shows, I'm curious to know, because as you were sharing, you would love to put your love on display. You would love to say, yes, I'm happy, this is what I want, this is what I've wanted. But at what point is the information that we share too much? So here we have what's the reality show where we have the couples, they get married? Is it I know there are two. I think there's one. There's Love is Blind, and then there's Married at First Sight.
Yes.
So we have. I know they became very popular. Those two shows became very popular during the pandemic and coming out of the pandemic. So, family, I'm once again posing this question to you, and one to you as well, Candace. So, would any of you be open to the scenarios, to living out the scenarios of either one of those shows? Now, let me share for those who are unfamiliar, share what I do know, because I Love at First Sight. No, Love is Blind. Married at First Sight. Love is Blind is when the couples, they don't get to see one another, but they get to.
They're in the pods.
They're in pods. They talk and they determine who they want to pair with. I forget who picks who, though. I forget how they match or determine. Is it the male that picks the female?
No, they have to pick each other.
They have to pick each other. Okay.
Yeah.
So they pick each other and then they meet. Then they agree to meet. And in the other scenario, Married at First Sight, they do not see each other at all until they wed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you be open to that, family? Would you be open to that? Would you consider that love? Would you be willing to build in that relationship and discover or find your love? What do you feel about that? What do you think? I want to know what you think and how you feel about that, because it's all of interest to me. We talk about these shows. We've talked about Florida and James and Good Times. We talked about, you shared about Urkel and Laura and him pining, and then her deciding, you know what, when he became Stefan, right? Was it Stefan? When he became Stefan, she said, oh, wait a minute now. Might be a little something here. I
was going to mention, what show had a collection of beautiful relationships? A Different World.
Wait. Who were the couples in the Different
World?
So
it was Dwayne and
Whitley. Dwayne and Whitley.
They were sort of that couple. But if you really look at that show, there were so many romantic relationships. There were so many sort of intertwining relationships, like, not to mention also like deep girlfriend, ships that had to deal with putting a boy in between, which sort of helped show the dynamic of how even like your friendships with your platonic friends can sort of stay intact in a romantic way when a boy gets in the mix or something like that. That show was really good.
That was a great show.
And Dwayne Wayne, remember, he broke up Whitley's wedding. I guess I like a drama. I like a man running after a woman.
I see that.
I'm seeing the pattern now.
She's like, wait a minute. Look, Steve pined for Laura. I liked it when Dwayne broke up Whitley's wedding, and
I like a grand gesture. I like a long grand gesture.
I do too. I do love a grand gesture. I am so impressed by that. Yes. I want to know that he wants me. I want to know without a doubt. I like to know that he wants me without a doubt. Now, I don't mind reciprocating because I know some of you are saying, well, wait a minute. Does he just have to come? No, 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 no. I don't have a problem reciprocating, but I do need to know without a doubt that he wants me. So I love a grand gesture. Cheryl, I see your comment. What we're going to do right now, we're going to take a short commercial break. But when we come back, we've got so much more to talk about, family. So stay with us because we're coming right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed on Evening Words.
Miss Pamela J. Rich Wheeler. Miss Rich Wheeler is the founder and executive director at the Business Center for Entrepreneurship and Social Enterprise. Miss Rich Wheeler is a progressive executive focused on building lasting relationships and making a strong impact in our communities. This is your first time on the roundtable. I would love for you to just talk to us a little bit about what you've been seeing over the course of the year in terms of the backlash against diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in the United States.
Well, Dr. Peterson, I would say because our focus is entrepreneurship, the one that really strikes a chord with me is the Fearless Fund, which was actually founded or funded, I should say, by JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and MasterCard, their specific Strivers Grant program. And it was designed to help Black women-owned businesses that have the desire to receive venture capital.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds from Evening Words on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Meet Amanda. She loves to start her day by heading to her favorite coffee shop.
Morning, Amanda. Black coffee, no sugar.
Then, she usually takes the long way to share a little treat with Coco, Mrs. Lopez's little terrier. And when Amanda arrives to open the Keystone First Wellness and Opportunity Center, Mr. Freeman is always there.
You always on time, Amanda.
Always on time, Mr. Freeman.
Amanda has been a community health educator at Keystone First for over 15 years. She knows this community as well as the community knows her. As a local health plan, we don't only take care of members. For over 35 years, we have known them as neighbors, friends, and family. As Southeastern Pennsylvania's largest medical assistance managed care health plan, our roots run deep. Visit KeystoneFirstPA.com to learn how we can help you get care and stay well.
Tune into Word Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
March is Women's History Month, and Word Radio celebrates Black women in education. Ruth J. Simmons is a highly accomplished educator who holds a PhD in Romance Languages and Literature from Harvard University. She served in various faculty and administrative positions at prestigious universities before securing a position as president of Smith College, president and professor of Comparative Literature and Africana Studies at Brown, and most recently, president of Prairie View A&M. Ms. Simmons is the recipient of many awards, including the 2001 President's Award from the United Negro College Fund, the 2002 Fulbright Lifetime Achievement Medal, the 2004 Eleanor Roosevelt Val Kill Medal, the Foreign Policy Association Medal, and the Centennial Medal from Harvard University. Ruth Simmons is the definition of Black excellence, and WURD salutes you. This Women's History Month vignette was brought to you by Comcast, Keystone First, Bank of America, and the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. That success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. I was so engrossed in the conversation. I was just talking and talking. Candace, I didn't even ask if you'd like to stay with us and hang out in this second hour. So, uh, would you? Well, thank you. Thank you so much because I neglected to ask you prior to this hour. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, listen, we've been talking about relationships. We've been talking about television and these images that we see on television. And we've just been sharing. Cheryl shared before the break. Married to Medicine is heartbreaking to me. I cannot stomach them. She said, I'm sorry to say that. I've never seen that show. And in response to my question, she shares, nope, not for me, neither scenario. I never saw that. So I'm going to ask in one moment if you don't mind explaining to me. Malcolm shares, there was a very nice collection of cute, in all caps, I must add, women on that show, the show that we were just talking about.
Different World?
The Different World. Thank you, because it escaped me that fast. And Eric shares, I enjoyed watching many of the Carl Reiner TV shows. They were all a great success. I just wish more prominent Black actors and actresses like Denzel, Oprah, Spike Lee, Cheryl Lee, etc., would create more sitcoms without so much cheating, lying, fighting, betrayal. There's a lot of success, love, and laughter in the world. I'd like to see Black directors focus on that. Keep it real, but not with reality TV. You can't stand that. That was all caps. And Cheryl shares, they don't come for me on this one, but I loved that Jada Pinkett dated a guy who played a role as being celibate in college. Oh, I would love that too. I love that. And Heather shares she can't stand the Married to Medicine either. What is happening on Married to Medicine? What goes on that show?
Well, there's a lot of toxic behavior on all of these reality shows. I think obviously the goal at this stage in reality TV is to drag down each other and to drag down each other's marriages. And it seems like what's starting to happen is to drag down each other's children as well. But can I just remind you guys of 3 years ago on Married to Medicine, two of the characters, Dr. Jackie and her husband, were actually going to divorce because he had cheated. And it was actually on the reunion couch that they announced that they were going to, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't Jackie and her husband were going to divorce, but that sort of cast rallied around them and got them to stay together. But I'm actually talking about Simone and her husband. They actually announced their divorce. They were on the show. They were on the reunion couch going to sign the final papers the following day, I believe. And cast would not let them stop recording, would not let them get off the couch until they talked it out. I think it took something like 6 hours of talking to them and got them to stay. And to this day, they're still together. I believe they've been together 25 years, 27 years, something like that. And to this day, they talk about how they would not be together if not for the camaraderie of that cast. Because while you can definitely, and you should all talk trash about the editing of that show and how the focus is so narrow-minded, and it is. Those are all real marriages attached to real love. And the way you know that is not because of the way we fight, right? Like we kick in and we fight the way we fight. But when real crap goes down, and one of those marriages, and two of those marriages were in real trouble of breakup, all of those other couples powwowed, loved on those couples, and kept those couples together. And that is why Married to Medicine will always, to me, be the most important relationship television show on reality TV. A producer is always going to go for what's salacious because, believe it or not, the audience really wants that. I know I was a television producer for 15 years. People say they don't want the trash, but you do. But it's also important for you, the audience, to be able to see the love. And it definitely is demonstrated throughout that show very, very well. It's also loud and crazy too. Yeah.
So that's real. It's real. Okay.
Cheryl, did you remember that? Just I want Cheryl's approval. I want to
Oh
know
no,
that.
she said yep. Yeah. Oh, she as soon as you said it, she typed yep with exclamation marks. So
Okay.
she is in agreement with you. Okay, I want to share something, family. Now, you know we have open forum every now and again. Well, I've got some things that I want us to talk about. I've got a video that Niall pulled for me. He said, "Huh, this might be interesting." So, Candace, I'm going to ask you and Nick. I'm going to ask you to participate in this conversation. You, Nick, you know I'm coming. You know I'm coming for you. I'm going to ask you. But I'm going to share this video and let's see what kind of opinions we have.
So I don't like to cook. I have been learning, but I don't like it. And I don't want to feel his preference is his preference. Maybe that's a non-negotiable for him and that's fine. But are you going to give her some grace to learn? You know what I'm saying? But as for me in my house, I don't feel like I have to be cooking every night. And my godparents have been married like I think going on 40, 50 years. And my godmom is like, girl, I'm tired. Be careful what you start doing because they're going to expect it. So, you know, I have both.
Amen. We'll take it down to the guys.
So for me, I'm gonna put this out here. I'm gonna put the deep voice on. Let me make sure. Let me make sure this sounds good. Let me make sure it sounds smooth. Hold on.
We want to be able to hear you.
No, for me, I'm here to be truthful, right? So I'm gonna say this one. I can cook for the, because I know somebody can be like, well,
can or you can't?
No, I can cook.
Yeah, let her know.
Be like,
I didn't
why
know,
you saying that? But for me, my preference is just a woman who can cook. Now, does she have to be able to cook? Yes, I would like her.
I thought you were about to say, no, she don't have to cook. Love it.
All right, Mr. Kosi, you welcome in.
First off, easy. How you do that to us? Because we definitely thought she was going to say no, bro. That's right.
Yeah, it was very, very much no.
Does she have to cook?
No?
I mean, right. let me say this. Don't throw away a love irreplaceable for a skill that's teachable.
Come on!
Always drop the win.
Yeah. For a skill that's teachable.
Green flags all over the place. Green flags.
In the room.
All right. Well, there we have it. So, family, that was too funny to me. He just set us up. I thought he was going to say no, she did not have to cook. So, family, what do you think? How do you feel? And women, do you feel that there is pressure to have to cook or to have to know how to cook? Men, do you feel like, okay, look, she absolutely has to know how to cook. She has to know how to do something. She has to know how to cook. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And Candace, what did you think? We'll start with you. And then Nick, I'll go to you. What do you think? What do you think?
Can I start with the man at the end who did the mic drop? And can I also say that I completely disagree with him? Right? That woman in the beginning did not say, I don't know how to cook. She says, I do not want to cook.
Mm-hmm.
So him saying, don't drop a irresistible love because of a teachable skill. Well, she might know how to cook. She doesn't want to. Mm-hmm. I personally cook very, very well. It's a talent of mine. I like to host people. I like them to feel comfortable, so I cook well. But a girl can't clean out a nan dish. I can't clean anything ever, not ever, anytime, ever in your life, ever. If ever you come to my house, of course it will definitely be clean. My mama taught me better than that. Okay. But likely I didn't clean it. If I have a dinner party, likely someone is scheduled to come to my home the next day to come clean it. Or if you come in a week, those same dishes will still be there. And lastly, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I don't care what y'all talk about me behind my back. You should pray for me. But I will say, lastly, I have actually learned that one of the cornerstones for me of a healthy relationship is a housekeeper. Because I have had men say to me that they think it's my job to clean. Well, that's how you suffer, because that's you believe in the media. That's your own suffering. But for men who genuinely just have, and for some reason, I attract a lot of like military men, and they like the crisp corners and such. I can't make a bed. That makes me sad. So, and I don't want to start my day sad, so I don't start my day making my bed. So I do think it's about, if you want an irresistible love, a lifelong love, then yeah, you choose somebody who both has the qualities that you adore, but the ones that you can put up with. And if my worst quality is I don't want to clean, but I can afford a housekeeper, then we have no problems.
Okay. But do you cook?
All day. As long
Okay.
as there's a clean dish, and I can cook really, really well. But the
Okay.
girls struggle.
With cleaning. Okay. All right. I'm getting text messages as well. I've received a text message from a man that reads, cooking is mandatory. Okay, cooking is mandatory. I want to share that Drina, hi there, beloved. She shares that she is watching from the sweetest sides of Detroit, Michigan. So happy to have you join us. And Keith Hooks, hi there, Keith. Thank you for joining the conversation. He shares to the conversation that we were having just before this one. My favorite love couple is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Angel, I remember that. Angel, her vampire love interest. To be transparent, I'm a homosexual. They fought to keep their love alive despite the pressures of their love. Wow, was supposed to be unnatural. Wow, I remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I appreciate that principle. They fought to keep their love alive despite the pressures of their love that was supposed to be unnatural. Thank you for that, Keith. Thank you. Nasir shares yes in all caps. Okay. I'm imagining if he could bold that and italicize it, it would be that too. But he shares that she has to know how to cook. But I can also cook and clean. But it should be 50-50, as Teddy Pendergrass said.
Okay. Well, listen,
Donna
if it's
Baker is joining
50-50
us.
holding a baby, then sure.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm loving this family. So let me ask you this. What if there's a specific type of cuisine that you like that she's not familiar with? Like she's not well versed in cooking that. Would you still say, all right, well, nah. They say that you like, I don't know. Say you like soul food. All you eat is soul food. But maybe she likes to prepare healthier dishes, or maybe she prepares her soul food in a healthy way. And some people say there's no such thing. Right. What if if she cooks differently from the cuisine to which you're accustomed or that you prefer? Would you say, no, that's a deal breaker? I need all the grease, all the fat, all the butter. I need it all. I need it all. Would you say, are you open to that? Are you open to that? Well, because, some men might say, no, I like what I like, and that's it. Well, some people, not just men, but women, I'm asking you too, do you feel pressured by that? Do you feel that there's any pressure with having to know how to cook? Family, listen, the phone lines are open, 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free. That's at 1-866-361-0900. Men, I want to know, how do you feel? Does she have to cook? Does she have to know how to cook? Now, those are two different things.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. How important is it to you that she cooks? Does she have to cook every day? Are you one of those men that, you want to come home and you're like, look, what? Something. Are you one of those men? Or do you feel like, no, she can cook sometimes, I can cook sometimes, or do you feel like, no, she doesn't have to cook at all? How
Also,
do you feel?
Can we also understand, for those who say it's important to cook, what is the value in that? Because I do understand, right, the idea of just the tradition of coming home and someone's prepared a meal or in a loving home for you. But then, like, is that it? Is it the idea of coming home to a warm home that's sort of producing that spiritual nutrition that you need, or does it quite literally need to be cooked broccoli and a piece of chicken? Like, what is it that we're really desiring when someone has to be doing something?
That's a good question too. That is a good question. That's a great question too. Malcolm shares, I appreciate a woman that can cook also. And he follows that with saying, no, she doesn't have to cook every day. Sometimes I can cook. Let's see, I appreciate that. Eric shares, that gentleman that made the statement of the year. And Candace, remember, she was advised not to start something you may get tired of doing in the future. I can cook. pretty darn good. So that being said, if I can cook for you, I would expect you to make the effort to do the same. 50-50 would be nice. So no ramen noodles, no microwave dinner meals. Sorry. I love it. We have a family member calling in on line 1. Hi there. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Welcome.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
All right. Yeah, I'm from the ilk that I would like her to cook.
Okay.
It
So,
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be an everyday thing
okay.
because like you said, I could cook too, but I don't want any of this modern woman. I don't cook. I don't do this. You know what? No thanks.
So is there a specific type of cuisine that you prefer? Like, is it a deal breaker if she doesn't cook the cuisine that is your preference?
Not a deal breaker, but don't like you said, no ramen noodles, no bunch of microwave nonsense. Like, if you want to be a wife, that's cool for like girlfriends and hook up and stuff like that. But if you want to be somebody's wife, certain things like you need to do to separate yourself, you know, from the pack. Not to say that there might be some guys out there who's like, I don't care, I'll eat Hungry Man's, and that's cool with me. Like, that's fine for him. But for the average guy, like, you're not trying to hear all of this. What you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this, and no. Not roles to play.
Well,
That's why things are so messed up right now.
That's a good point. So the other question I have for you is Candace was asking, what is it? Was the value? Was that what you said? Was it the value?
And if I could ask, I think if I could say, I think some of the reason why all of our values can't quite hit to fruition the way we want is because of our limited thinking and what constitutes love. And so even in mine, I'll say like, I happen to cook, right? But when I share sometimes that I don't clean, I do find that sometimes men will hit me with the whole, well, I don't want a modern woman. Well, I'm not a modern woman. I'm a lazy woman. I don't like to clean. So, but what I also am is a woman who has come with my own set of problem solving skills because I've never liked to clean. Again, ask my mother. Since I was 6 years old is what I've gotten spanked for. I can afford a housekeeper, right? And so for a woman who doesn't necessarily want to cook, maybe because she has her own career while you're out all day, she's working from home to prepare your home or for whatever, right? But she can afford a chef. She can afford to, Instacart whatever it is that you want to have. She can afford, right? There are many, many ways to nourish your family and be a modern woman while still portraying these classic values. And right, as a wife, of course, I would want to nourish my family. But I don't think that the specific role of heating up or boiling water or making an egg or anything like that is what does that. I think it's about the warmthness of what a mother brings. And that's why the question is, what is the value of the cooking versus the meal versus who has to prepare?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, he wants to answer that and I do have a comment to that as well too. But go right ahead. I'm sorry.
Like that modern stuff, it sounds cool. In reality, it doesn't work all the time because we see the results. And this stuff, like the first thing you said, like what like, oh, people don't understand love, and I agree, but I don't think I agree for the same reasons that you do. I think that the reason why people don't understand the love part is because they're giving these fairy tales and movies and scripts to follow, and that's what they're trying to live up to. But reality, like the reality, yeah, my wife, if we're doing certain things and she has a certain life and she can have a chef, and that's cool. But it's still the values of, okay, well, what if one day the chef can't come, the chef's sick? What would you do? Will you sit there and like, oh, we're just gonna eat pizza? Like, do you have it in you to like, yo, you still gotta nourish the family? And just like you said, like, you don't like to clean. That's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, I might not like to take the trash out. But when it comes to a relationship and certain things, it's like, no, I don't like taking the trash, but I got to do it. It's part of the thing. Like, we gotta bite the bullet. And right now, I see in the modern world, everybody is. And I'm not even gonna say everybody, because that's just trying to be politically correct. The women want it all. They want to be treated like a princess. They don't want to do this. They want to do that. You can't have it all. None of us gotta pick and choose. You're gonna be a wife, or you're gonna be like this new thing. And these new things don't work out. Look at the divorce rate. It doesn't work out, but they don't like to listen to the men.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. This conversation, I'm enjoying this conversation, family. I love it when we get to talk these things out. I think it's important. It's an important conversation. Eric, we so appreciate your opinion. We do have another family member waiting to join the conversation, but I'm looking at the time. Actually, I'll take the call and then we'll go to commercial break. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you joining the conversation as well. Do we have our family member online too?
Oh, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
I'm doing great. Just came back from actually a meeting. This is on my ride home, and this is such a great topic that you have. Very proud of you. I'm very great.
Thank you.
For me, cooking is great. I mean, it's mandatory, really. For me, you know what I mean, because there's nothing like when you feel that sort of love and like affection that you feel in the food, and literally you can sort of taste that feeling like inside of the food, like when it's like prepared like right, you feel all of that energy inside of that food, and it's great because like when the family is like preparing the food, even the cleanup, I mean it's all like a full sort of like family ritual, so cooking is definitely mandatory for me.
So, Commissioner Sabir, quick question for you. In addition to that one, is it based upon a specific type of cuisine, or are you open to different cuisines? Is it specific, or does she just have to know how to cook?
So I'm a soul food sort of person, right? I like the yams, I like fried chicken, fried rice, but I do know like that, sometimes some of that food isn't the healthiest. So if we been turned and we doing like, health cake, that's fine too. But it's all about the love that's inside the food. I can tell when the food is like rushed. I can tell when the food is like, I can tell it, like that's sort of like that sort of thing that like keeps everything together. But I love soul food. I'm a soul food person, but I just know you can't eat it every night. It's like you can't eat that fried fish. You can't eat that macaroni.
I know. Oh my goodness.
It's just not healthy, but it's like, but when that stuff be on all cylinders and you eat that, man, just relax. And it's like the best food in the world, to be honest with you.
It is. Like you said, there's love. There's love in it. You can taste the love. You can feel the love when you eat it, and you can taste it as well. Commissioner Sabir, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Family, it's time for us to take a commercial break. Know that the phone lines are still open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. We will be right back.
Join us for the Level Up Pitch Party and Networking Mixer, Tuesday, April 2nd at the Fittler Club, celebrating Women's History Month in partnership with WVON Chicago and KJLH Los Angeles. We are highlighting Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in our communities. Come out and cheer on your favorite business as the 5 finalists vie for a chance to win the grand prize valued at $5,000. And while you're there, meet and greet the judges and others from various business sectors throughout the city. Visit wordradio.com/level up and RSVP to the event. Level Up 2024 is brought to you by Comcast, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, and Bank of America.
We gathered real Pennsylvania seniors and asked them how they would benefit from an extra $1,000. Here's what they had to say.
Everything is so expensive these days.
Car expenses, repairs.
My groceries, heating costs.
Medications. Sure, I could easily spend $1,000 like that.
Through Pennsylvania's property tax rent rebate program, eligible seniors and adults with disabilities could receive up to $1,000. Check your eligibility and apply online. paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
We see the urgent threat of climate change every day. Tornadoes in Texas, droughts in Europe, typhoons in the Philippines. But what don't we see? How the climate crisis hits vulnerable people the hardest, women and girls. That's why CARE helps the world's most marginalized people build resiliency and fight for a more just and sustainable world. You can help. Learn more at care.org/climate.
In honor of Women's History Month, during March, we want you to show off just how phenomenal you truly are with Word's latest Phenomenal Woman swag. This is also the perfect gift for that special woman in your life. Our latest swag features a tote bag, notebook, and a long sleeve t-shirt. Get one or get all three. And guess what? If you're a 4-Word member, then you get these brand new items with a 25% off code. That's right, 25% off for our 4-Word members. Join or renew to get your discount code via email. Remember, membership has its privileges. Go to wordradio.com/WHM to start shopping now. That's wordradio.com/WHM.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are in the midst of the conversation. Yes, we are. So I showed a video for those of you who missed it. I showed a video, and the young lady said she doesn't like to cook, but she said she wanted to know, the man would at least be open to learning, her learning some things. And one of the men said he absolutely has to have a woman that can cook. She has to cook. So we've been asking questions, several questions, I should say, as it pertains to this conversation. I wanted to know from the men, is it your preference that your woman cooks? And if so, does she have to cook every day? Does she have to cook every day? And are you specific to the type of cuisine? We just had some of our family members call. Commissioner Sabir said, look, it's mandatory. She has got to cook. He said she has got to cook because, when she cooks, I can taste that love. I can feel that love. And, to that point, I was going to say, so that's one of my love languages. I love to cook if I'm in a relationship, I love to cook for my man. I don't like cooking for me. When it's just me, I don't like cooking for me, and I love me. So, there's no, but if I have a man, then I love to cook for him. It's just, I love to do for the man in my life. So that's a love language of mine. So I understand when he was saying that. Malcolm shares, no, the woman does not have to cook every day. Sometimes I can cook. And he shared, we can both clean. So that's not deep right there. Andre, hi there, Andre Terry, that is. Thank you for joining the conversation and welcome. He shares, good evening, everybody. He shares, listen, you don't want to cook. Well, I don't want to provide for you. You see how that works? Yeah. Life ain't always about what you want to do. Love equals sacrifice. Understood. And Mike shares, Minikin, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. A good woman should know how to make at least a good PB&J sandwich. All right. Eric shares, they're good points, Candace. I'm looking at Candace's face now and I'm cracking up. He shares, I need to call in. Eric, call us. Call us.
Please, something on my side.
One of our beloveds, Joanne Kemp. Hi there, beautiful. She shares, the household duties should not be gender specific. If a woman doesn't work, then I might say yes, they should cook. But if I'm out there working too, then no, you ain't cooking when you get mad. I do agree with that household duties should not be gender specific. I do. And as you all know, well, you may recall, I should say, my aunt and uncle were guests on the show. and they're coming up on their 59th wedding anniversary. And he shared that, well, they shared that at one point in time, he was so stressed and he was just like, this is not right. Something's not working for me. They talked about it. And she said, well, how about I go to work? And how about you be home with the girls? Because they had my two cousins. And that worked for them. I remember that because, I used to spend my summers with them. And my aunt was a nurse. She went to work and he stayed at home, and it worked. So I do agree. I agree wholeheartedly with the comment that our beloved Joanne Kemp made about household duties that should not be gender specific. And they both cooked. My aunt cooked primarily, but they both cooked. They shared responsibilities. Malcolm shares, when a woman gives a man food, she really, all caps again, likes or loves him. Now that's true. That's true, Malcolm. That's true.
No,
That's when I do. When I
no.
do it. Oh no, for me, when I do it, yeah, I really like you or I love you.
Well, I'll give you food if you're hungry. I give food to homeless people all the time.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
love.
do think
That's love.
no, it is. But I thought that Malcolm was sort of saying something different. But I guess what I understand is, number one, let me say that I happen to be a nurturer. I am a deeply feminine woman, and while I do consider myself a modern woman, my definition of modern is that I'm going to do what I want and I'm not going to do what I don't want. And if you don't know my value, you should ask me, because I can write it out for you. I can speak it to you. I can love it all over you, and you'll love me. That's what I'm here for, is to give love. But I think the greatest thing, and I'm always going to fight against this whole what's actually tearing it down, the family unit. And I think, again, and I stick by this point. I think it's anytime any of us are asked to be in a position that we don't want to be in the name of showing value or feeling more loved. I think that the greatest form of love any man can show me, and how I'll know I'm in the presence of my husband, is because if the only thing I don't want to do is clean, then that is the thing that he'll take off of my plate. I am, in terms of finances, I've been able to do that part on my own. God gave me a beautiful brain and a beautiful face and a beautiful voice. And so I've been able to do a lot with that. But God, though I have two hands, bleach cannot go on them. I don't know why I'm lesser value in love, in terms of loving, and I've had some of those beautiful experiences. I'd be an amazing wife if that's what I wanted. I'd be an incredible mother. But I don't think that love is sacrifice. I think that love is to teach each other how to be our highest and most greatest selves. And where we falter is where we fill in for each other. It's just my thinking. But also I'm single, so it could be all wrong.
No, listen, we're all entitled to our opinions. And that's why we talk here, because there is a yin to your yang. There is. There is a yin to your yang. I like, for me, I do believe that I do believe that love is sacrifice as well. So absolutely I do. Oh, absolutely I do. Because there will be times that I will put those that I love before me. There will be times that happens. I think that I will. I know that love is sacrifice.
But isn't that what you just described, though, is prioritization? Like, that's prioritizing. That's not sacrifice. It's the honor of the love to prioritize, but
it's love when you do. Oh, yes. No, yes. I have sacrificed for loved ones. I'll say plural. And I would do it again. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but that's my love language. Is I'm a caregiver, I'm a giver, I'm a doer. So that's my love language. I like to do for those that I love. So I do sacrifice. I will go without, or that's just the way that I've always been since I was a little girl. That's just, the way that I've always been. But I do see love. I do see sacrifice in love. Eric, you did ask what number is best to call. Listen, for any of you family members anybody that wants to call, you're all family. 215-634 8065 is the number to call, or you can even call us toll free. 1-866-361-0900. I absolutely do. I'm loving this conversation, family. Ozias, hi there, Ozias. Our beloved Ozias Johnson shares, my ex-wife could burn, baby, burn in the kitchen. But if she didn't cook, I was like, oh, well. She works too. So I guess it's peanut butter and jelly again. When she got tired of me eating all the bread and all the peanut butter, she would cook. I was truly low maintenance. Well, almost, but I'm saving the rest for my book. I know that's right. I know that's right. Cheryl, you shared that we're freezing. Am I freezing? Is Candace freezing? Let me know so we can try to work out whatever issue that is. Rowena, our beloved, is sharing that she is watching and listening. Hi, Rowena Brown. So happy to have you, beloved. Always a pleasure. Joey Dixon is joining us as well. Welcome, Joey. He's sharing one love and jazz to everybody. And Malcolm shares, well, my last relationship was old school and she knew how to cook. I mean, soul food cook. I know that's right. See, I know that's right. I know that's right. So it looks like soul food is the one. So listen, fellas, if she comes and brings you some, grilled fish and some broccoli or some, some sauteed spinach or what have you, you know, are you gonna be upset with that? And whatever else she decides to put with it, or if she brings you some quinoa, suppose she brings you some quinoa, and says, listen, I want to know. I know
Some
Malcolm is
porridge.
laughing at you. Malcolm is laughing. Ozias, he said you ate that bread up. He said, I love it. We're going to go back to the phone lines for one moment. I believe Eric called us back. If it's not, it might be another family member. But hi there, Eric. Thank you. Thank you for joining us again.
Hello, Carol. Yeah, it's me.
How's
my little love doing?
I will not complain. You hear me? I will
That's
not.
awesome. Candace, hello to you, Candace. Your facial expressions are cracking me up. You have the most beautiful eyes, and they're rolling up and down and everything. I'm sitting here cracking up watching you two.
See, it's all in her face.
I'm having a hard time with the men today on the phone.
Listen, this is my point of view. Look, cooking and cleaning never killed nobody, but it seemed like the young lady was adamant about not cooking because one of her, was it her auntie?
Her godmother or I think it was.
She
said her godparent. Yes.
Look, I'm tired of doing this, and that, and the other. Personally, it's got to be a compromise.
Mm-hmm.
And cooking together is a beautiful thing. We can cook together. And if you don't want to cook, okay, let's sit down and find a compromise. Like Candace said, okay, well, she don't like to clean, she can get a housekeeper. You don't like to cook. I've dated young ladies where they're like, oh, I got my nails done. I don't want to make those biscuits and put my hands in the flour and get my hands all dry and crusty. Well, what about me if I'm out there shoveling or slamming stuff with a hammer, or I'm doing whatever? If I can get my hands dirty, so can you. Let's take cooking classes together. We can do yoga together. To do it together, it brings you together. That's what family's all about. And I know how to cook, so it's like when I make a meal for somebody, I put my foot in it.
Is his name Eric?
It is.
Eric, see, you are a husband. A husband is a man who knows how to get a woman to move and determine. I would go to a cooking class. That would be called a date. You will bamboozle me into cooking, right? That is how it works. Good for you, Eric.
There has to be options. And like I said, because I heard what she said, she's like, well, I'm against. Okay, if you're against it, you have another option. You don't have to have dinner waiting for me. That's fine. But look, I remember Carol Brady, she didn't always cook, and neither did Louise Jefferson. Cooking and cleaning never killed nobody. But maybe we can do this together. I can do it for you, you can do it for me, or if I'm too tired or too busy, then you do it. But I can't do the ramen noodles, I can't do the Pizza Hut, I can't do the DoorDash and all that. No.
And the microwave meals. You said no microwave meals. You said no hungry man for you.
That's not going to work. You know what I mean? Because just think about it. It could be fun if we cook together. I think the young lady was very adamant about just not getting, I don't want to cook in my hands and no. If I can do it, you can do it. That's basically how I feel. You got to want to do it. She seemed like she didn't want to do it. And it makes me, that's why I was like so adamant about calling. I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I want to do it and you don't want to do it, then there's an imbalance there. So let's sit down and talk about what the solutions would be to make us happier. This is about love.
And like you said, she was heavily influenced by what her
Right.
godmother said to her. Her godmother
No,
said,
no.
"Look, don't start
When
something that you don't." But you know what? Well, there's a whole lot there because I think that's a conversation that her godmother needs to have with her own husband. Like,
Right,
I'm
but
just,
she's
I'm
probably
just,
been
I'm
doing
just.
it for 40 or
It,
50
right.
years.
He might not have an issue with her
He's
cooking
probably
a
been
little
doing it for
less.
40 or 50 years, and she's
Right.
tired of it, and I get that. But this young lady, she's a young, attractive woman. She's just starting out, and you don't want to displease your partner in such a simple way, like over food. Let's cook together, baby. Let's make that
You
meal
see that?
together. Put on some Marvin Gaye, put on some Carol Riddick, and let's make a meal together. You know what I mean?
I know that's right.
Right?
But I think what Eric is doing so beautifully, and this is what I try to do in my relationships, is right. I treat my man, and I mean this with all respect, actually. I treat my man the way I would treat my toddler, right? If a toddler doesn't like broccoli, then you try to create a meal that makes them eat the broccoli. And I think what Eric just said is exactly the same thing. You may not like to cook, but do you like to go on a date? You know, can the date include cooking? Could then we eat together? I mean, I think that's such a romantic, beautiful, responsible finessing of a situation. And I think that is how the growth of a good relationship
And I
works.
respect the fact that she said, okay, this is not what I like to do. I don't like to clean. That's fine. But we have to sit down and find a solution to take that off the table, but still be together and love each other and respect each other. Okay, you ain't got to cook if you don't want to cook, but you know, you
And the
got
magic of a woman is as soon as you bring that sensibility to her, as soon as I'll go clean the toilet one time.
Right.
But I could be a team player, right? Because that is what a woman is. A woman, right? Because they're two experiences. It's what I don't want to do and what I'm willing to do for my family's prosperity, right? And I think the bridge of that is where the husband comes in.
Well, now I have a question. Well, first, it's time for us to take a commercial break. So I'm going to put a pin in this really quickly, but I have some questions. Family, listen, stay with us because when we come back, we're going right back to our phone lines. I am really enjoying this conversation. We'll be right back.
Want double the winnings and double the fun? Check out the Pennsylvania Lottery's double-sided scratch-off $1 million multiplier madness. You have two ways to win with games on both sides of your ticket. That's right, you get two chances to win for the price of one. There's no time to waste when you could be having two times the fun. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery's double-sided scratch-off today. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Problem gambling? Helpline 1-800-GAMBLER.
These days, my happy place feels a little happier, even if the fish aren't biting.
Mental health care is working for Diego. See what it can do for you at mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Tune into Word Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. Word's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out these recent job openings posted on the Livelihood job board at wordworks.com. The Public Health Management Corporation is hiring for several exciting roles, including youth case managers, a behavioral health coordinator, and a part-time youth ally. For more information on these jobs and others, go to wordworks.com and learn more about the Livelihood Initiative. Brought to you by Word Radio. Progressive. Black Talk Media.
It's too black, which means it's too strong.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black Talk Media, WURD. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Family, welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. Oh, we are talking. Before the commercial break, we were in the midst of the conversation with Eric and Candace, and they both agreed. They were in agreement that, look, we've got to compromise. We've got to compromise. If we can, find some way to work this out, then let's do that. I'm in agreement with that. If we can find a way to work it out, then let's do that. But don't just tell me, no, I'm not doing that. That's never going to happen. Now, see, and I've had that happen, actually. I have had that happen. But so I'm in agreement with what the two of you just shared in the conversation. Gary Bryant shares the bottom line is that it's all teamwork. And Rowena shares, I had past relationships with men that knew how to cook. She shares, I love men cooking, but I can cook. Same here. Same here. Same here. Same here. Eric, are you still there? I want to make sure before I move forward. Okay, I'm going to go to back to the phone lines. I believe we have another family member waiting to join the conversation. Hi there, and thank you for calling. Uh-oh, did I miss you?
Hello,
Is that Eric or is that Gary?
this is Gary.
Gary. Hi there, Gary. I wasn't sure if
Hi, how
Eric
are
was
you?
still there or if he hung up. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I enjoy listening to the conversation. You get married and sometimes we have these roles, like men have a certain role, women have a certain role. But I look at it as teamwork. I have two sons who are grown now. When they were babies, I took care of them just as much as my wife did. In the beginning, I did most of the cooking. So we both worked. So we did, it was like teamwork. I would get home first. So, hey, I jump in the kitchen and start doing things. So I think we have to look at it as a partnership or teamwork, in reference to the different roles, because my son Gary, when he was first started walking, his foot was really turning over, it was really curved. And I noticed it. So I said, we're going to take him to the doctor and have this checked out. The doctor explained it was something he would grow out of. My wife was so upset because she didn't detect that. And I told her, I said, sweetheart, look, that's why they have two parents. That's a blessing for them. So we can both be on, watching them and be on point about what's going on. So I don't think we should get caught up in I don't do this or I don't do that. It's teamwork. Now, when I'm out there doing the yard, cutting grass and doing the hedges, no, I wouldn't have my wife out there doing that. But she had her garden. I go get the dirt and everything else she wanted in the bricks or whatever and hook up her garden for her. Teamwork. So
I can appreciate that. Thank you for that. No, really, Gary, thank you for that. Thank you so much for that, because I happen to be in agreement with that. It's about teamwork. It is absolutely about teamwork. So did both of you cook? Did both of you cook? Just going back to the other conversation. Just curious to know.
Looks like we just lost him.
Gary said, I don't want any part of that conversation. No, I'm just teasing. But I do I do so appreciate his point of view. And Eric shares, there you go, Gary. Step in and step up. That I so appreciate that. I really, truly, and honestly do. Because I too believe it's about teamwork. No matter what we're talking about. It doesn't matter across the board, because look, we're all different. We all have different likes and different dislikes. And, listen, as long as you find the yin to your yang, it ain't nobody's business. And it's all about what the two of you do and what you like and what you don't like. It's all about you. So that's my own personal opinion. That is my own personal opinion. Okay. And we know what opinions are like. We all know that. I do want to I said we were going to talk about current events today, and there were so many other things that there was a few other things that I wanted to mention. So in the 3 minutes before we began to shut down, I want to share something that I saw today. Now, we did hear Brother Ron share that it is so important to vote. It is so important to vote. I'm mixing apples with oranges, family, so bear with me. I don't know if you saw this, but I'm going to read this article that I read today so that you too can be informed. This article reads, cash-strapped Trump is now selling $60 Bibles with the U.S. Constitution included. This article reads, former President Donald Trump, you know I can't stand to say his name, Orange 45 is whom he will always be to me, is bringing together church and state in a gilded package for his latest venture, a $60 God Bless the USA Bible, complete with copies of the nation's founding documents. Trump announced the launch of the leather-bound large print King James Bible in a post. Family, I cannot say it enough, 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 enough. We have got to make our voices heard. We have got to vote. We have got to get out there and we have got to get out there and vote. This right here is a travesty. This is my own personal opinion. I don't know if I prefaced what before I read that article. I don't know if I share with you. I'm just sharing my own personal opinion here because you all know I don't always mention this individual on the show because I just don't care to. But I do have the understanding of where we are in the world right now and what is taking place. So that's not lost on me. But just know the devil is real. You hear me? The devil is real. The devil is real. Malcolm shares vote blue, please. He shares dump is disgusting. And Keith Hooks shares, geez, I saw this too. How deep is his barrel? Clearly, I mean, seriously. And Oziah shares, Lord, have mercy. The state of the world. Eric shares, selling the Bible, really, exactly, and it includes the Constitution. So he's what he's the way that he's advertising it is that he's sharing let's make America pray. In any event, we have about three minutes, so I'm going to take this last caller. One of our family members is waiting to join the conversation. Juanita, thank you so much for calling and welcome to the conversation.
Thank you so much, darling. I do appreciate it very quickly. Yes, we're going to make America pray again, to pray that we do not allow him to get into the White House again.
Yes, ma'am.
The most ignorant man, and I don't usually say this or even say his name or even because I'm 71 years old, and you don't just do some of the things that he says and does, call people names, and, it seems like it has become acceptable. After all the hard work that the previous presidents put in to bring us to a point of dignity, he has lowered the bar so low. And he couldn't even give his favorite scripture. He evaded, I have to forward when he comes on my TV, by the way. But you can't help but hear some of the craziness because they replay it over and over again. But I still, and I've never had to do this with anybody, a president or non-president, where I just cannot stand to say his name in my home. But most importantly, we must vote. Democracy and freedom are not free. It costs our vote. So it will cost us our vote to get out, register if you're not registered by April the 8th, I believe it is.
Yes.
And so, because we cannot have this madness and nonsense go into the White House again. He just won't go away. Doesn't he know that we're tired, or the media knows that we are tired? And don't believe those polls. He is not ahead of Biden. Pushing polls don't vote. People do. I'm sorry. This man just upsets me, but I still have to keep my composure. Thank you, darling. You've been more than kind. Love you.
Thank you so much. I love you more. And I feel the exact same way. And I should say, forgive me, because I called him a name, and I should not stoop so low. I get so upset. I get so frustrated, and I get beside myself. But I'm just asking, just please, family, vote. I cannot say it enough. I cannot. Candace, I want to thank you so much, beloved, my love bug. Thank you for coming to, first of all, for coming, and then for staying. So thank you. It's I just had so much fun.
That was so fun.
So much fun.
Yes.
Family, listen, as we close tonight's show, I'm asking you, first of all, I'm saying, praise God from whom all blessings flow. As we close tonight's episode, once again, I'm going to ask you to pray for whatever's heavy on your heart. Pray for those affected by the collapse of the bridge, the accident itself. Pray for whoever is in need. And we'll pray for one another. We will pray for this situation that we're currently dealing with. I thank you so much with every fiber of my being for your continued support of love and life. I do. I thank our guests. Yes, thank you so much, Candace. Thank you so much. Thank you. I also thank you, family, for participating as well. Just thank you to everybody that contributed to the conversation. Special thanks to the entire Word family, to Nick, to Niall, for all that you do. Happy birthday once again to our love bugs, yes, that are celebrating. Family, I just want you to remember that we are all in this together. You hear me? So be good to you, but please be good to those around you. I love you so much, but just know that God loves you even more. Okay. Be careful out there, please. Please be careful as you go to and fro. Have a great rest of your night and be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Good night, family. I love you. Good night.